India. Becca loves Jesus. I haven't seen you in a minute. I'm glad you're here, sweetie. Trying to go earlier. Love you, darling. Love the Scan family, too. God and the devil. God and the devil. Notice the code runs in the music, the theme music that I use. Don't look at all the political stuff. Look what's happening right now around the world. It's not just India. We got Saudi Arabia, too. A little change of pace from China. Not a good idea. Dude, got it. Oh man, did he make it? Hey, neighbor. Yeah, you're close by me. we could actually bump into each other sometime. Ooh, my God, probably freak. All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. And here we are. All right, let's get her started. First of all, there's her thumbnail right there. I'm going to let that sit there for just a second and take a moment to thank you guys for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family and be in my presence in the present moment. Pretty cool stuff that we get to do here. Okay. For those with eyes that see, you can see what's going on right here. We have been talking about this activity for the last couple of nights and the bigger objects and how they cause plasma to flow over them. Okay, so it's pretty much sitting right in front of you. And what I need to do is kind of darken this a little bit because it's too bright. So, as you can tell by your flow pattern, this big wide spread, here's your big circular object right here. Just about going out of frame and coming back in, but right there, you can see the flow down here spreading around. You can almost see a damage ring going around it like this, that's spreading out and over and around this spheroid shaped object. Then again, we have the flow going straight off the top. Once it reaches the top of the spheroid, it doesn't carve and go back over, it just splays and goes off. There is your bigger object, and if you look closer, I'm going to take my little pointer now. There's a moon or a satellite maybe somewhere right there. You can see something out here. So when we start going through this step by step, it's this big event right here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start this up. Put her in, take her out of reverse and put her in forward. And let that loop kind of play for a second. And while we're doing that, I'm going to take another moment and thank you guys for being here. Thank you for your courage. Okay, at this show we deal with some topics that are just off the hook. Okay, it's very disturbing, and you got to have your faith got to be strong here at this channel. Okay, so you guys are courageous for being here, and every show I say a special prayer for you guys. Lord, give them the strength and the courage to endure the knowledge I'm dropping on them. Okay, so here we are, 8/2, August 2nd, 2024. I'm going to go ahead and just zoom right back in a little bit there. All right, let me slide and catch the opening frame. Whoops, just missed it there. But yeah, boom, another big event. This is like the third one, so they usually come 3 in a row. Actually, this is like 4 in a row. All right. Meantime, opening frame 024/8/2/2024. Got it? Good. We were talking about this object coming out last night and how it was making this dark object right here. Also, something I want to point out that was caught on Mr. MBB's channel in the cloud. There was a spherical object above the cloud, and it had a face in it. Let's go right about there, point out. Eye sockets in that zone, the bridge of the nose going down, brows, round structure, face right here, similar to the face that was seen in the clouds on Mr. MBB's channel, there's spiritual events going on with these as well. So when we see faces and, well, there's signs in the sun, as promised. And here we have this object, the darker object coming out, drawing plasma with it, but the plasma is drawing a face type structure. Okay. Kind of got the same hairline, too. Anyways, there's that. We didn't really talk too much about that one last night because it was at the looking into the future a little bit. But there was this event right there that kicks off right before the big one. Okay. Oh, boy. I know it's unbelievable. Maybe you don't see it. That's okay. Eventually, you'll get caught up and maybe you'll have the eyes that see. And we'll just, if it's not there yet, keep trying. Meanwhile, it is what it is. It's blinding the camera over on this side. So let's just proceed. Boom. These objects are dark. They absorb light. They don't reflect it, so they appear as a dark patch amongst the plasma that's all bright. They draw out the plasma with it. Almost can see a faint little whoop right there, little moon following along with it. Then here comes our big blast. Wormwood, well, you could call it that. It's got a lot of names. So as we look right here, you can see this little line skirting around right here is actually the like a shock wave going around the surface of our round spheroid back in the background here, okay? There's a little moon out in front of it right here that's kind of disrupting flow just a tad bit. But then as we, boom, you can see over on this side our object very faintly, but you can see by the flow asymmetries. Let me go ahead and zoom back in on that right there. I can't go in too tight on it. And then let's darken it back down again because this is a dark object. So it helps if we darken stuff too. All right. The bigger object is going just out of frame, coming back in right there. You can see we have a little moon or a satellite sitting out in front of it right there. You can see our flow coming off the top of the sphere. See the sphere is curving back down here, but the flow is still blasting straight off. Much like the image I showed you last night, that where we captured it big and black and everything, it's the same flow asymmetries. It doesn't curve and go back down. It just kind of flares straight off the top of the spheroid. Okay, and this thing is passing by the sun, or the sun is passing by it. Either way, another satellite moon down here. Either way, when the sun interacts with it, the magnetic fields interact, and it causes the sun to, not spit out a flare, but this magnetic field almost rips plasma off the sun. This thing is bigger and stronger than the sun. If we take a peek over here, what I want to do, so once you take this white circle, the size of this white circle, and put it inside this black one, that's the size of the sun. It's not the size of the black circle. It's the size of this white one. This is just the occulter disk. You all know that. Just for layman, for future reference, though. So this thing is much bigger than the sun, isn't it? Yeah, we have a problem. And there's more than just this one. Okay, so I think you're seeing it. I think we captured it pretty good there. Pretty well, I should say. All right. And you can see the bottom edge right down here. You see light coming and then curving. It's taking a turn. It's going to wrap around this thing. It's bending light. Oops. Okay. And that's what's causing the CME right there. That's what's causing that blast is the interaction with this bigger object. You can see these flow asymmetries down here. Look at it come out down and spread out right here. It's just like it reminds me of like a candlestick or something that spreads out at the base. You can just see this spread, just spreading out to stretch and go around this big object right here. And then let's continue, because that was our main frame right there. And you'll see it for 2 to 3 frames, and then it kind of dissipates once it passes. So they're very hard to capture. You're looking at like a black hole that's almost impossible to see. The only way to see it is when it interacts with the star, which we happen to have a sun, which is a star. Boom. Boom. We have a little jump in data there too. It looked like 636. There's a good shot of it right there. Okay. And here down below, you can see this stretching out and going around the front side of the face. Let me give you an example of that. It actually happens at the opening of this show right here. Watch that right there. Okay. See how stuff is wrapping around? Let me go back just right there. There's an invisible black spheroid right there, and plasma's hitting it and wrapping around it. I should slow that down. Let's go. Yeah, right there. Thank you. Because I want to use this as an example. Hopefully it's capturing it. And then once it wraps around, some of it comes back together into a plume. Bam. All right. And that's just an advertisement, but it's a perfect example of this wraparound effect. CME hits black spheroid, wraps around like that. Okay. Now, right there. See it? You get it? You got it? Good. Visitor? Okay. Open the door for the cat then. Nice. I didn't have to get up. All right. Anyways, you can still see your 3-dimensional spheroid effect. You got to remember, space is 3-dimensional. This is a spheroid. It's not just this 2-dimensional screen that we're looking at. Okay, now let's proceed. Next. Then it's out of frame. We're still too zoomed in. See this pop right out here and kind of slow down. This one, turn around, going back in. Oops, did you see that? Let's go back. We're going backwards, so that's coming out as we go backwards. Okay, our object's sitting right here. See it? You can see the flow right there of our object sitting right there. That's the one that's going to go in. Meanwhile, one comes out. Watch. We got our one coming out. This one's still kind of backing out, just chilling in the area. This one comes out. Boom, boom, boom. And then this one decides, hey, my turn. All right, NASA, go ahead. Give me your lame excuses of what's going on here with the sun. Oh, what's that? You're very silent about the activity on the sun these days, isn't it? Sorry, I'm being sarcastic. Lord, please help me. I prayed I wouldn't do that during the show. Whew. Now, let me slow this down for you because much like that advertisement, I want you to see the plasma stretch out and flow over our big object as we pass by it or it passes by the sun. So it's after that event. Here it comes. One more time. We might even have to play it a little faster next time. But I want you to see the stretch and the plasma go around it. And you see the little shadow of the moon, the trailing satellite that's going along with it. So let me go ahead and speed that back up a little bit. Where do we go? Whoops, too fast. Right there. All right. So watch that again. Boom. That. And oops. And this kind of look similar, don't they? Whoops. All right, that's what's going on right there. All right, so there's that. We go kill that now. All right. That was back in 1997, watching this system come. Yep, for many years now. It's been getting closer and closer, and it's here now. I learned about this system listening to the radio show Coast to Coast with Art Bell. I used to listen to Art Bell back in the day, too. I still keep in touch with George Norrie every once in a while. He was intricate in the beginning of all this when all this started to happen to me. Anyways, there's your activity for August 2nd, all right? So don't look now. I mean, if you haven't figured this stuff out and been watching for a while and you're just hopping in at the last moment, it's like very last moment. After pretty soon it's going to be too late to look. It'll be too disturbing. You got to have a good foundation. So here we go. Let's get on over to our space weather now, and let's just get started up here. Solar flux indice. That number just makes me want to hurl. All right, it's excruciatingly high. 247, we're up another 13 points. All right, our sunspot number count came down 28, thankfully, and our area is way back down. But the solar flux indice at 247 is just way up there. All right, and that's all because of all this activity that we've been seeing. It's actually kind of coming down a little bit right here, but right back up, and now we're just kind of putting along here. There's not much really to take a peek at here in the future, so we might save that for tomorrow, because right now we have these geomagnetic storms coming in, okay? G2 and another G2 back to back. So we got 2 days basically of G2 storming over the course of 48 hours. I am a stickler for absorption here, because the absorption that this planet does, we absorb all this geomagnetic energy and it creates havoc. I mean, we're getting volcanoes, earthquakes, fires, SO2 emissions. I saw a thing posted. The guy says, well, what's going on here? This isn't water, and there's flames coming out all over the ground. It's methane emissions. And methane is flammable gas. Methane emissions coming out of the ground already on fire and just spreading across the ground. When I saw the footage, I almost saved it to put it on this show, but it's too disturbing. And it's when you see it, you don't want to see it. I'm not going to show it. It's out there though. There's methane coming off the surface of the ground on fire already, and it looks like water flowing across the ground, but it's not. It's blue flame. It's very we're getting a lot of pressure down below, okay? And any kind of geomagnetic absorption is not good. We are already seeing plasma discharges from the earth. Okay, now what I need to do. So let's keep this in the background. 3rd and 4th, when we get to our weather report, okay? There's Hopkinson. Hi, Sunny. Hi, honey. I'm sorry I didn't send you a little early notice. I kind of got lucky and everything came together. I usually get shut down right before the show, have to reboot the computer, all that great stuff. So it didn't happen tonight, and I got to start early. But thank you for being here. You didn't miss much. We can always go back and look at the ugly stuff over here later. Here's what you missed, Cindy. That big old thing. But you've seen that before. Anyways, X flare 25%, M flare 75%. Keep that in the back of your mind. We had this long duration. It was a pretty healthy M flare, bumpy ride down, a little hiccup right here, but pretty quiet and just descending right now. So not much to look at. We don't have to zoom in tonight. Our M flares for today, though, were the M4, the M8, or no, sorry, up here, the M2 and the M7.4. The 7.4 probably being this long duration one right here. Okay. So, and that was out of 3768. All right. Meanwhile, our auroras are really low right now, and our KP is very low too. We had a little burp right here up to 3, but 3 is nothing. We're back down to 1.5. All right. So we've taken our CME blasts. We had some good KP5s, a couple of them, and that's all energy that gets absorbed down to the core. All right. Thankfully, it's calmed down a little bit. So that's good news. I'll take that any day. Already got a lot on my hands already. So here we go. 72 is this one right here, this beta gamma delta and growing. That's one I'm kind of concerned about right there is 72. And we have 65, this beta gamma delta, but that one's declining. The one 68, where to go? 67, 69, where did 68 go? Okay. Let's go up here then. Oh, just real quick. These guys over here at Solar Ham, I would love to donate to this place, but I can't because my conditions are like I don't have credit. I can't use any of the apps and stuff like that. If you guys ever want to donate to a channel and help somebody, help these guys because they help us all out too. Okay. If you wanted to donate to my channel, I can't take donations either. So if you wanted to help me, go help them or some of the other channels that we show on here. Okay. Please. Meanwhile, I need to get 68, 69. Seems to be gone now. That's okay. What I want to do real quick while we're here is just say goodbye to all that region. Okay. It's still kind of just outside our IMF line right now. So hopefully whatever comes out of here won't hook up with us anymore. And our IMF line won't trigger an event right there either. Let me have triggered. Oh, I can't rotate this one. That's right. 3772, pretty strong, but a lot of area in between them, so that's good. This one right around here, 3774, and this whole little complex is the next one to watch, okay? So let's get past that. I have so much for you guys tonight. I got to get moving. Okay. Okay, we did all that. We did all this. Okay, now let's get to this article real quick. The monthly solar flux and sunspot number average for the month of July is now official. Both the SFI, which is the solar flux index that we report on every night, and the sunspot number reached new highs for solar cycle 25 and highest values over 22 years. Funny how we're talking about this, and they're hit us the highest values in over 22 years. We had, remember the sunspot was at 270 or something the other day? It's down 28 points, thankfully. And this, 247, good. It's going to hit 300 or what? That's not good. Okay, so they're right. These are the highest values in over 22 years. Solar cycle 25 is off the hook. Now, the solar flux average was 198.6, and this is the highest it has ever been since February of 2002 during solar cycle 23 when it was 2.056. Whew. The sunspot number average for the last month was 196. That's the average. The average was 196. That means there was days where it was higher than 196 and days where it was lower, and the average was almost 200. That's insane. This is the highest sunspot number value since December of 2001 when the count was 213. Now, these things, every once in a while, I'm going to show you these, but these are the charts that plot, your apex of your solar cycle or your sunspot number. This one is is this the SSN? Yeah, SSN, the sunspot number. Our maximum is supposed to be like right about here, and we are way off the charts. Let me just kind of, there we go, get up close and personal. Sunspot numbers are off the hook. Our solar flux indice should be, averaging way down here. Here's the, for this year is just going up and up and up. Okay, this is the purple line is the average. You see the ups and downs. There's your average. Look at this average. It's way up above the red line. Both are. For everybody talking about grand solar minimum, we are not in grand solar minimum. This is more like maximum. Okay. Now, before we get in, that's old article. Now let's open a tracker. Yeah, this is, you see our CME due to hit here between the 3rd and 4th. Bam! It's even hooking up with the solar wind line right here, that creating a double bow shock. Crazy. All right, let's open this one up. It's not showing much, but I want to also use this as a prop to quickly demonstrate our IMF line, the black and white line. Here's Earth. Doesn't go straight into the sun. It actually arcs just like the solar wind. The solar wind is a charged particle wind that's coming out while the sun's rotating. So you're getting the spiral effect. That's what's giving the spiral effect, is solar wind coming out while it's rotating. Okay. The solar wind band, whatever this solar, on the other one, is hooking up with the CME. Okay, remember the solar wind band right here hooked up with the CME on the other one, but the same arc is the same arc as our IMF line hookup. We hook up to the side of the sun, that quadrant. Good. Next, out of there. Right here. This I want to do real quick because that one's moving too fast. I want to be able to control it really quick and point out one thing or two. Please, Lord, can we have this? Thank you. Please let it. All right. Loading up here real quick. Okay. So as it comes out, see here, this bow is hooking up with this bow and gonna light it up. Watch. It's gonna ignite it even more. And it becomes a bow shock of its own. See at the end right there? See how it charges up that whole arm when it hooks up with it? Oh, that is just nuts. All right, so go back. What happened there? All right, so escape. How do we get too close up like that? Oh, there we go. All right, so with impact due here, Earth, midday the 3rd. Okay, so from right now, we have G2 storming for the next 2 days. With this being our impact right around the 3rd, right? Midday there. Okay, so there's that. We got all that taken care of. Moving on. That's the August 1st article that we already did. Okay, so I want to keep this up here for reference for later. Our August 3rd and 4th G2 48-hour long G2. Hopefully not, but that's what they're predicting. Okay, hopefully it's not stronger either. I will take weaker any day. I do not want to see a G2. I'd rather see G0. But whatever happens is going to happen. It's going to be long duration, lots of energy being absorbed. We'll leave that there for future reference. Now we're coming back over here to spaceweather.com real quick. I just need a couple of things out of this really quick for you guys. Here they are also talking about the sunspot number count as well. All right, NOAA has issued a geomagnetic storm watch now for the August 3rd. We know why. The CME is expected to graze Earth. No, it's going to pretty much straight on hit it. Earth's magnetic field. Hurled into space by the M8. Okay, so it's an M8 that's a hit us. It's not just a little mouse fart, okay? The M8 is the CME that could spark the G2 class geomagnetic storm. No matter how strong the storm is, how strong our magnetic field is depends on how strong it'll be. If it's a G2, our field's in good health. If we have a weak field that day, it could register harder, even though the solar flare did not intensify. Understand, our field is weaker. It registers higher when we have a weaker field. Good, you guys got that. That's awesome. Now, the G2 geoclass magnetic storm was a naked eye auroras in the U.S. here. Okay, the sunspot thing is the 23-year high, 22, 23. The sun is partying like it's 2001. No, it's not partying. The sun is being attacked and demolished by a black hole, a Death Star, a stellar core, call it what you will, magnetar. It has a very strong magnetic field. Okay? It matches the definition of many things. Solar cycle 25 wasn't expected to be this strong. Yeah, because it's not what you think. So in December 2019, experts predicted it would be a weak cycle. And they're wrong. Instead, solar cycle 25 has shot past cycle 24 and may be on pace to be the last cycle ever in human history. I mean, pace to rival some of the stronger cycles of the 20th century. Already in May 2024, we have experienced a century-class geomagnetic storm with auroras sighted in the South Pacific, Central America, and South Africa. Yeah, a lot of sunspots. Okay, last time sunspot numbers were this high, the sun was on the verge of launching the greatest Halloween storm of 2003. Yes, they're going to show this. Please show the real data from this. Oh. Pooey. Wikipedia. We're going to show the... It was a beautiful blast. You should have seen the blast that came out of that. It was crazy. Which induced the strongest X-ray solar flare ever recorded, the X45. We're going to get to see it now. And the CME is so powerful. And the CME is so powerful. Dang it. It's really hard to find. All right. Anyways, it was detected by the Voyager spacecraft at the edge of the solar system. That's how powerful it was. It was detected by Voyager out at the edge of the solar system. Ta-da. So, is this solar max? No, the jury is still out. Sunspot numbers may continue to rise in the months ahead, but based on the behavior of the previous cycles, we can confidently expect high solar activity for at least 2 to 3 more years. Aurora in the USA, Cannibal CME hit Earth on July 30th. Beautiful picture there. I love horses. Cool photo. Kind of reminds me, wish I'd kind of gotten that photo right there. Would have been cool. All right, moving on now. We have other issues. We have the big old grinding event that we experienced yesterday. A lot of intense energy right there. Tapered off. We had a little weakening. Well, not weak. It's pretty good continuity for a minute, but then build pressure, started grinding, released, another little build up, release, good continuity for a minute, but you can see just kind of pop, grind a little bit here, grind again, a little bit relief, grind. So it's a roller coaster ride, but it's on the baby roller coaster. It's on the kiddie coaster. Okay, this is like the adult roller coaster over here, and then this little up and down segment right here is like just but it is fluctuating. Okay, and this does mess with you throughout the course of the day. You're going about your business, doing your thing, no problem. And this happens, especially stuff like this, can affect other people as well. And they will trigger you, or you'll trigger them, or offend them, or whatever. So, this frequency being fluctuating like this messes with your moods. It's also an indication of pressure down below. This is the core and the shell grinding on each other. One of these days, I'll pull up another display and we'll go over that as well if you guys want. I'll show you how the core absorbs the energy when it's metal in its core. It's very dense, so when it heats, it expands. And when it heats and expands, it makes the shell or the outer core heat and expand too, but it can't expand outward into the magma. There's too much pressure. It expands back down onto the core. So the core is expanding outward while the shell's expanding down inward on it, and they get really close and start grinding. That barrier in between the two is so close that any kind of burp out of the sun, any kind of CME, causes grinding. You'd like to see the core thing? Okay, we'll do that here in a little bit at the spiritual report part at the end here. But anyways, here's this going on right now. We had kind of a up and down day. It wasn't too bad. Okay, we were on the baby coaster today, luckily. But I'll tell you what. Let me just refresh for any latest data. Ooh, starting to see just a little white line right on the edge of this, right at the very last line. But we're going to receive more grinding. When this G2 hits, we're going to see more of this activity because it's going to cause the core and the shell to grind. Those low frequency emissions rise up through the magma. Then they hit the crust. The crust is thicker and it slows the waves down. Okay, so you get lower frequencies coming up through the crust that emit from the crust out into space. But they hit the ionosphere, which is electrically charged. These low frequency waves hit the ionosphere and bounce back down as an echo, and this detects the echoes from inside the Earth. This is the dynamo that hums at 7.83, the same frequency you do and all the animals do. Without the 7.83 megahertz, or without that frequency, you would go insane. You would lose your mind, become violent, and kill. All right, you just lose your mind. They forgot to put this frequency in the Russian spacecraft one time, not thinking that it mattered, and the two cosmonauts killed each other. They went insane and killed each other because there was no 7.83. So that 7.83, we want nice continuity, just green line, not all interrupted like this. So we're getting interrupted. These grinding events can weaken our field. Right here, the field is strong. It's grinding. It's producing 7.83, but much stronger. White denotes the intensity, okay? The intensity of the frequency. These are the frequencies going down to 40 hertz. This color denotes intensity. So we had 7.83, really intense. Imagine if somebody took every radio station and turned on every radio station in your car. AM and FM are all playing in this garbled mess. Every frequency is playing a garbled mess, right? You can't even pick one out, right? Then somebody comes along and turns the volume up, and you have a 250 watt amplifier in your car with some 15-inch subwoofers. All of a sudden, all those radio stations playing at maximum volume just. Okay, so that's what's happening. And it happens in the background when you don't notice or when you're not expecting it. So it's important that we do our spiritual work also for this too, because we have this affecting us while we're going through tough times as well. All right? Double whammy. Now, let's move on here. Guys, you're being very patient, so thank you. I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can here. All right, we got to touch base with the weather here. We have this little cyclone, hurricane moving out on the Pacific, not really endangering anything, but it is moving away from the land, so there's a storm right there. Meanwhile, we still have this weird little kind of configuration here. This storm looks like it's going to go hit the west coast, but look how everything turns and goes south and goes right back out to sea. So even though this thing looks like it's gnarly, it'll probably get sucked up and go over there, or it'll just dissipate and go south. Okay, the jet streams no longer control our weather, it's the thermals down below. Meanwhile, we got a big thermal patch up here that's been going on in Hudson Bay. Look at our rotation up there. We also had this big thermal patch right here off of Greenland, and we're seeing rotation still out there. Seeing this one intensify too. All right, these are just storms, okay? Interesting little guy right there. Is that like a pug or something? One of those Boston Bulldogs? Never mind. We got to get up here. Just look how these vortexes are really lashing South America right now, and the Sandwich Islands out there. Now, the top of the world really quick. I want to take a peek up here. We had some vortexes going up here because of the heat anomalies up there. So we're going to get to that in just a second. All right, so let's set up for our sandstorm. Come over here, get to our particulates. Sand. All right, here you go. Big old sandstorm kicking off Africa, going across the Atlantic, reaching out. Been disrupting our hurricane production, thankfully. You can see our conveyor belt here structure in the background in the window, can't you? See that? It's already there. I haven't even done the thermal thing yet, and you can already see the conveyor belt structure in the background. All right. And it's taken sand, pushed some of it. It splits up into two. Half of it goes through here and into the Caribbean. The other half takes this inside loop and goes back out. You can see the plume, the latest plume that went up there got dispersed around this area. So a lot of the USA is kind of covered in sand right there. Sandstorm, especially the South. If I told you like 6 years ago you're going to have Sahara sandstorms in the Gulf of Mexico, you'd be like, Brian, you're nuts. I'm still crazy. The ongoing sandstorm since November of last year. The earth is just screaming something wrong, right? Okay. Anyways, big old sandstorm over here coming off of Saudi Arabia, still slamming India. I showed you the weather from India, and I also showed you the weather from Saudi Arabia. Both places are just like flooding out. Well, particulates in the air happen to make for a lot of raindrops. A lot of particulates there, aren't there? Wonder why they're having so much rain. Well, we got the southern fetch, too, that comes off out of the southern hemisphere across the equator. This is like the warmest water in the world right here, coming out of the warmest water, going across the warmest water, up into sand, producing lots of raindrops. Now you can see why Saudi Arabia, these places are all flooding out. We have our ongoing sandstorm up here as well. Lord, I was calm, everything right before the show, I feel burning inside me. Okay, so there we go. Let's get that out the way and get to our, no, we want the chemicals. SO2, okay? SO2 is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. Hangs out down with the magma down below. It's the gas that surrounds the magma down below. Here we are, our nation divided. This side kind of bleeding out over here. We do have a little break right along that side right there, but all in all, there's your country divided. This side is all like volcanic venting spots where we're seeing SO2 emissions. Pressure down below, pushing magma up to the underside. Magma wants to come out, but it can't. The perforations are too small, and the gas comes out instead. the fires. Please, Lord, let it report tonight. They're on there. Good. Very important that we understand what's going on here. Fires are being sparked by SO2 emissions. These SO2 emissions are so hot that they create spontaneous combustion in the surrounding vegetation, sparking forest fires, wildfires kicked up by wind. Our wind velocities worldwide have picked up. Okay, so wind's kicking up sandstorms, it's kicking up, fires as well. So any kind of little spark gets hit with some wind, and then we get all our fires. Now you can see how it's not just a fire that's creating SO2, because trees aren't made out of sulfur. Just by the way, trees are not made out of sulfur. So when they burn, they don't create SO2 plumes. It's the SO2 plume that's creating the fire. Now, not every SO2 plume has a fire. See? And, Lord, Jesus, please, can we have control of this? I see what you're. Stop. Now, right there. It's a good example. Not every SO2 has a fire. Not every fire is producing SO2. See, it's not the fires causing SO2 plumes. It's the SO2 emissions that are causing fires. We saw them remove this data for a minute there. I said something and look how it came back. Because this is crucial information that people that don't want. It's going to cause some panic and stuff. Used to be really bad up in Canada and stuff, and now it's all traveling south. Used to be kind of exclusive to Upper Canada. Now it's Lower Canada. It's invaded Washington State has fires. Oregon. Look at Oregon, where we had that new volcanic emission site that some MBB3 caught, the 120-mile long plume, still spewing SO2 with fire. We all know that this fire is still going, right? Even though there's no dot there, everybody's aware the park fire is still going. Okay. Meanwhile, up here in Oregon, around Mount Hood, this is the one that's kind of concerning. Here's Mount Rainier, having fires, hot spots up at the top. Maybe that's maybe what this is hot spots at the very tip of the volcano. But as you look, you can see SO2 emissions coming out of some of the other peaks in the region. Okay, this spot down here in Southern California as well, there's fire down there due to SO2 emissions. Okay, and where you see SO2 emissions, oh, what now? Are you kidding me? Look here, here, and here. We're starting to see it spread easterly now. It was more heading south and got down to Southern California. We're seeing some plumes now, some fires created by SO2 emissions more easterly this time now. And here's our dividing line, right? So they're marching eastward. Oh, look how close they are to the line. Watch out, you guys over on this side here. Probably start to see fires from your plumes here pretty soon. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Right there. Maybe over here, too. All right, we're going to have to revisit this a little bit later. I got to keep going. All right, you can see that it's also affecting Russia and Siberia in this area up here as well. Okay, now let's take the fires off, please, Lord. Thank you. Back to our SO2 report. So, SO2 emissions, North America going down through Mexico. You can see Cuba and Jamaica darkening up as we come down here. This area darkening up, especially our Fulcrum Point area. What's usually a little square is stretching out into a rectangle, so more pressure showing, more emissions, kind of blurry. They're not so defined. That means there's a bigger poof, a bigger push of pressure. All five of them are, pretty there. The three are very dark, so that's our fulcrum point where we see a lot of pressure release. That's a sign that pressure has increased. We come down here, pretty dark right along there, but it always is there. We're having emissions over here on this coast as well, up here at the tip, and then lately this new plume here in the middle, I'm pretty sure, but yeah. Okay, let's go over to stop off at Hawaii. Yeah, there's still pretty good concentrations. It's darkening up in the hub right there, so that's important that we see a little increase in pressure there. Now what I need to do is back down to their time frame. And here's China, very dark right now. All these patches, it's spread way up here now. Look at the Korean Peninsula filling in with SO2 emissions. See? Here's Japan. It's volcanic island all the way down, so it's got SO2 emissions. But China, still very intense. All these intense plumes, black being your most intense. There's a good spot of black right there. Divorced and former military too? Oh, she cheated too? Oh, Jeremy. We got lots in common. All right, now back to the show. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing with somebody in the, or relating with somebody in the chat. There we go. So here we are in India. I showed you flooding at India as well, right? SO2 emissions going off the hook there. Here's Saudi Arabia that was flooding out as well. SO2 emissions coming out there. I got a good woman, my mother. I'm taking care of her. All right, there we go. There's the speckled effect of Europe, Spain, South Africa. We got desert right there. But South Africa is still their issues. Now I want to come over here. Java. Oh, yeah. It's pretty purple, isn't it, guys? Definite increase in pressure. We're seeing stronger emissions out of there. Yeah, I am lucky. I'm lucky I survived my marriage. All right, there's a lot of SO2 emissions coming out of this region right here. Okay, and then also we have our spot right here where we had bigger quake activity. There's SO2 emissions coming out of this island, and we're going to talk about this tonight in our quake report. Okay, so remember that little guy. Also, just let me point out Australia doing its thing. It doesn't look like much on a global scale, but this little island right here with these two little emission sites relieve pressure as it enters the system right there. Our emissions from Fiji, basically the hub of our deep quake zone right here. This almost looks to me like it was maybe the bottom of the planet at one time, but we'll get to that later. We're starting to see SO2 emissions out of Fiji, and that's where our deep region is. And even this little island, what's this, Tonga Tonga maybe, or something off here in between there. All right, so we pointed that out. All right, so SO2, and we're done. All right, here we go. Everybody take a deep breath for this, okay? Here we go out in the Pacific. This area, very, very compact, organized, more centrally located, not so spread out tonight. Do you see that? Do you see how it's like shrank and compressed down like this? Boom. Meanwhile, this area out here that we watched diminish in pressure, there was a big yellow bar and it was diminishing the other day, is now we had a yellow patch there yesterday, just a yellow patch. we just had a yellow patch. Look at how all this is filled in. We'll do a comparison in a minute. I got to say a prayer before we do that. Meanwhile, over here at this region, you see it's very diffused. It used to be Japan. This one spot right here was all intense and white. Look, there's no white in there anymore, but there sure is over here at Tamumasi. All right, biggest volcano on the planet, doing a lot of work right now, and it's not the worst place. If I were to pick a spot on the planet where we could possibly relieve pressure and have heat, would be kind of out here somewhere where it's cold in the first place, where the heat would it wouldn't be as bad as if it were doing it down here, right? Or if it were doing it, underground, right on a very populated place. So for having a spot that relieves pressure being way out here, it's not all that bad. But we're seeing this increase here on the West Coast. Okay, this is concerning. And our cold water field right here remember, it was protecting, is almost gone right there from Washington down to Oregon. And then here on the coast, all this new plumage coming up from the bottom has really shoved off the cold water. We see the cold water retreating. Okay, so this is very, very concerning. This is a lot of pressure. This is hot water or magma coming out of the ocean floor right there because of pressure, and it's heating the water down below, and the hot water rises. These plumes blossom out once they hit the surface. And what you're seeing is pretty much translating to the activity down below on the ocean floor. This is also controlling the air currents up above. We'll get to that in a second. I need to... this is really expanded since last night. We have this coming all the way down across the equator now and making a Z. Big old Z right there. Was not there yesterday. Oh, boy. All right, let's this is the top of the world where there's the coldest water, right? Not anymore. We're way up here. And we're seeing at the top of the world heat signatures coming from beneath the ice up here. When I back out of that, it just looks like the world's on fire. But that's the coloration denoting the intensity of the temperature. Also, we're seeing a pickup of intensity right there. We had this little cold water plume right here, but it doesn't look like it's going to cut it versus all of that. Also, something else I want to do we'll do that in a minute. All right, Lord, help me. These people understand. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just hook up with the wind right now. And I want you to see how our wind patterns correlate with our heat signatures. The heat coming off the ocean surface, mind you, the water's hot. It makes the air hotter at the surface. So hot air rising, cold air coming in to replace it, causing vortexes. The heat signatures on the ocean floor are now causing or directing our weather currents. It's no longer the upper and lower jet stream. Our surface winds are controlling our weather now. And we talked about sandstorm right here, cutting into thunderstorm productivity, causing, no thunder or lower thunderheads, lower productivity, the Hurricane Genesis in that area, thankfully, because we have a conveyor belt type structure. Right now, it's kind of changed right here. This plume right here has diverted stuff. Do you see this? Because before it was coming right up through the country. We have a new dip right there. Do you see that? It's no longer coming right up through there. So you guys might get some relief from heat coming up here because now you got cooler air coming down. But a little change in temperature out here changed this whole pattern. This little opening or whatever happened here has changed this pattern. We have our inside loop still here, okay? The sand is cutting down hurricane production. We could have seen at this time 8 to 10 evenly spaced hurricanes all the way around this. They give each other space to breathe, so one can feed and the next one has room to suck air in to feed too. So they would be evenly spaced, 8 to 10 of them going around that conveyor belt. Luckily, the sand has nullified that production. Something else we have to take into consideration is what Mike is talking about is the hypercane. Okay, this patch continues to emit a hot nickel, cesium, radioactive material that's super, super hot. It's super hot water, too, that's coming up through the crack as well. You're going to see one big yellow patch out here, okay? And this vortex could turn into a hurricane itself. Not moving, it would be positioned because of the heat signature. Okay, so it would be a standing hurricane. The middle would be the eye, and the eye wall would be your conveyor belt. And you would be talking about winds, straight line winds whipping around this at 200 to 300 miles an hour. Okay, and luckily, sand has stopped that production as well. All right, so our sandstorm has been very crucial. It has saved us. We would be in dire straits right now. We'd probably be on our 10th or 12th hurricane that has buzzsawed up through there. That whole part of the country would be missing right now. So that sandstorm is a saving grace. It really is. And you see why. Now let's come over here to the Pacific. Our concentration of this area has really cut off its own vortex now. This area is reacting with its own vortex because we got cold next to hot. See this cold patch right up there? Yep, causing your vortex, isn't it? Meanwhile, you see the peel off. This peel off and the southern flow along the west coast. There we go. All right. So any weather, this storm that looks like it's a storm out there is not a storm. It's just sitting there, okay, because of the heat signature. It's not a storm. It is a storm. It's a storm that's just sitting there pumping and grinding right there because this ridge right here won't let it move through. It'll take this, destroy it, and push it right back down and out. So this is why the West Coast has had this dome of protection over it right here. Do you see it? Do you see the hedge of protection that's over that area right there? Everybody else on the planet is suffering except for that area right there. I know why, too. Well, you can see why. So, yeah. There's your thermal vortex air current. Oh, we need to get over here too. Look at this. Taiwan, our little cold patch, kind of gone. We take the wind off now, Lord. Thank you. All right. Cold patch is kind of gone. It's the same with this one. They're retreating. There's still that one over there, but we need a quake in this area. We need some quakeage in this region here because pressure's starting to build up. Meanwhile, down here, we have this region where we've seen some bigger quakes, and you see that there's no yellow here. It's kind of diminishing in this area because of some quake activity we've had there just recently. I'll show you in a minute. Meanwhile, down here at Java, the Purple Island, relieving a lot of pressure. Well, look, it's starting to get cold water inundation right along the shoreline again. All right, we have a plume growing out here as well. Look how it's reaching into the bays here in Australia, pushing cold water up against the shoreline. Then we have all that activity down at the bottom of the planet. Even South America here. All right, so there's that. Where do I want to leave it at here? Oh, because we got to talk about this tonight. The Wanda Fuca. We're gonna have to have a conversation about the Wanda Fuca now. So we'll leave there and come on over to our earthquake report. All right, let's get on into our standard earthquake. All right, you see the twisting motion right here? You can see how this is twisted out here. This is twisted back this way. Makes me think that this maybe was once the bottom of the planet, a long time ago, different era, different age. But anyways, we get a lot of our deep quake in this region, and it pumps into these plate tectonic systems. No deep quake right there, but right here we have a 5.0 down at 52. That's probably something on the ocean floor here, maybe, because it's not on our plate boundary. Okay, see, it's not a plate boundary. It's not at 10. So little pressure being relieved, probably little. You see these seamounts on this side, little rumbling seamount under there, probably. 5 energy at the surface, kind of being released. Here at the beginning of the system, we haven't seen one here in a while. A 4.7 down at 45. That's probably little. Yep, it's not on the plate boundary either. It's subsurface or under the water. Okay, here's our little island right here that emits SO2 and relieves a lot of the pressure that goes up through this area. This is almost a fulcrum point right here. Energy doesn't want to change direction, but it does. 4.4 down at 151. We got another volcanic feature here. See how this plate boundary and this fulcrum point has created this island. It's created this weak spot right here. And this island, bingo. Oh, we have quake activity on a volcanic island. 4.4 down at 151. We'll have to watch this little island here. That's a sign of pressure down below. Earthquake activity of volcanic islands is an indicator of pressure down below. Here we go with a 5. That's really at the surface right there. 3-way plate boundary. Ding. You can see why that one happened, right? A lot of pressure underneath there. Where's the path of least resistance? This 3-way intersection. Always remember, path of least resistance, like water trying to flow, okay? We don't see many on this island, but we do have one here today, 4.6 down at 76. This is not at the surface either. Volcanic features. See these? This whole thing is like a one big scar. It's a big... stab me in the neck here. You see how this plate boundary comes in and turns and goes this way? It used to crack too. That's a fault running right down the middle of the island and hooking back up right here. So that region's very, very, has a weak zone, and there's your 4.6 in it. We haven't seen one on the island in a minute. Okay, 3-way split again here. This 4.5 down at 123. We got a volcanic feature there, one here, and probably a new one growing right there. You can see why. See pressure come into here, bing, run into this one. Nothing in our deep area there. Now, we're going to talk about that area in a minute. Let's cover everything else first. No fulcrum point quakes. Very, very quiet through this region, all because of the activity going on right there. But diverse quake up here. Oh, wait, is that a fulcrum? Hang on. What? Okay. It's interesting here. This is kind of a diverse quake here. Don't see I think it'd be pressure from that water in that lake, but no, no, no. There's our diverse quake right there. It's a new spot. It's not a typical spot that we're used to seeing activity. So there's a kind of diverse quake right there. Just meaning it's not your typical spots where we're used to seeing all this stuff, right? This is your typical quakes. Now, all right, let's get that one out of the way really quick. Over on this side, we had a 5-1 at the surface right there. Then we had this today. Okay, here we go, everybody. That's the island I was pointing out earlier. So we started off with the 6.8, which was almost a 7. Let's just see what they said. Oh, did that say 7 right there? Mm-hmm. I like the number 7. We'll go with 7. One of my favorite numbers. So we had a 7 at 25, almost caused a tsunami. And then we had all kinds of smaller quakes around it. 5.3, that's not a small quake. These are aftershocks of 5.3, 4.4, 5.2, 5.3. These are good aftershocks. This released a lot of energy. You got to remember, each one of these is energy. What do we do with 4.9s at the surface? Another 5. A lot of energy just got scrubbed right there. Then, just as I went live, we had a 6.3 there. Okay, so tack on another 6. We had a magnitude 7, a magnitude 6, a bunch of 5s. There is your increase in pressure. There is your release of that pressure in the form of larger magnitude earthquakes. Textbook stuff. When we go through these and we point out these new spots and I talk about, we'll have to mark that spot as a weak spot because in the future when pressure comes, it could possibly come at a weak spot. We always talk about this area to watch for that kind of activity. Should not surprise anybody at this channel. Okay, that's good. I don't go around predicting things, but I'm trying to tell you that this is understandable. We were covering this kind of stuff not too long ago. Okay, let's just put it that way. Meanwhile, here at Taiwan, too quiet. We need mid-range 5s. Nothing stronger, but we could use some mid-range 5s there to relieve energy in that area. We did have a 5 on this side, but you don't see any release over here. So watch out in this area. You could be seeing a mid-range 5 to a 7. This seems to have maybe released a lot of the energy, but it looks like there's still something jammed up there. Okay, so watch out around that region, really. It just looks too quiet for some reason. 4.7, 29, 4.5 down at 40. We'll get to the Juan de Fuca in a second. Very quiet all down through here. 4.2 at Chile. All right. Here we go, everybody. Juan de Fuca. Everybody get your sodas. Get ready. We're about to dive in. Seriously, with a critter right now. Just ignore it. Here we go. Volcanic activity or earthquake activity at volcanic islands as usual. Our little checkoff spot where we had a increase in magnitude the other day. We're down to 3.6. So normal activity right there. Normal activity, little microquakes all along the volcanic islands going up into Fulcrum Point territory. Let's check that one's a 2.5. Diverse quake again, 2.5. You saw the pressure and the heat coming out of this area along the shoreline. Yeah, no surprise we're having earthquakes there. All right, see how it comes up to a point and then goes back down. So we start heading back down. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And now, voila. 4.1 at the surface on like a fulcrum point of the plate boundary. It's not right on it, but just off of it. I call that a fulcrum point quake. Pretty darn close. This is a plate boundary quake as well, 4.4 down at 10. We're starting to see some of this energy being relieved in this area at mid-range 4 level, and that's good because look at what's growing there. Let me tell you, because of the expansion and the change in coloration, the intensity here, we are going to experience more quakes out here. There's going to be an uptick in quakes and magnitude. Do you understand why? Not because I'm some earthquake predictor. I'm trying to tell you there's an increase in activity out there going on, and it's translating, and we're starting to see mid-range 4s. We need to see this and relieve that pressure. Thank you, Lord, for helping me maintain my composure. I am trying my best not to scream, holler, get overly excited, but the sense of urgency needs to be understood. Let's just say it that way, in a mature way. Okay? Let's get back over to here. Puget Sound area, nice and kind of quiet. Little one there. What's going on up here? Well, oh. We have that river. Oh. We have the landslide that backed up the river up there. Meanwhile, we got Fulcrum Point quake coming in at 1.5. Nothing pushing inland here, but we still got our activity at the geysers going off. Let's do a quick little magnitude check. Recent one was okay, good. 2.1s, 1.1s, relieving energy. Very lark field, huh? Nothing through the North Bay, but look up here into this Antioch Vallejo area. 2.0 there, down on these fault lines, 1.7 activity. That's good. It's relieving pressure along there. Very quiet along the San Andreas. I mean, there's one, and it's a 1.1. That we need more activity right along the San Andreas. We're getting pressure that's backing up on this Pacific plate because these are two plates, different plate than that one. It's backing up. It's not snapping here at the plate boundary. It's doing it out here in this weak zone. We're also seeing right here 2.1 in Fontana. And we got us a little quake swarm here out in the desert. Started with 3.4 at the surface. See some of these. It's 2.6. So yeah, good little dispersion of pressure right there for Southern California, or for that region right in there. These aren't all little microquakes today. These are a little bit bigger in magnitude. 2.1s and 1.4s. It's not like these 0.1s and 0.2s, the microquakes. These are like a magnitude stronger. What happened up here real quick? Okay, a little quaking going on the Sierras here. Nothing too big. I want to see what happened out here by Walker Lake. I won't say anything. I know. All right, through that area. All right, let's come on over here. We have had some good quake activity over here in New Mexico. These are all up in the 2 range. You see what I'm saying? These aren't their microquakes. These are 2s now. 2.9. What do we do with 2.9? See this? We all know what it's from. I'm not going to argue that. There are perforations in the crust and stuff that's going on out here. But magnitude, magnitude, indication of pressure increase down below, because these aren't 0.3s and 0.4s, the 2.7. You almost felt that. And we've seen 5s out in Texas before. That's indication of pressure. We still had some out here, but it's a little smaller. Don't be surprised you guys out here see a mid-range 4 or something like that. Supposedly an explosion. We do have Craton movement 1.8. Yeah, it 9.3. Yeah, we're seeing stuff at the surface. It's not big, but it is an indication of a weak spot, a place to watch in the future when pressure arises. Nothing along there, and nothing going on up there. Nope. Nothing strange about a quake right in the middle of the lake. There's your diverse quake. A 2.9. What do we do with 0.9s here? Yeah. Down at 10.9. There's your diverse quake. We had, what, 3 of them today? Yeah, we're going to have to continue to watch this carefully. Mid-Atlantic Ridge, quakes all up and down it. They're not reporting it. We know there's quakes being had up at Iceland. This three-way junction right here, this is where a lot of the magma, nickel, cesium coming out of this area down this zipper come unzipped. And this spot right here was one of the original hot spots that started. Okay, we take this this little point. See this plate boundary that comes out of the Straits of Gibraltar. So you take this point in Spain right here, this little peninsula, go straight out from it. We go to Spain, to the peninsula, and come straight out from it. No wonder why there's all that going on out there. Okay. Excuse me. All right, now we're going to open a volcano page here. Sorry, I'm just trying to clear out a few pages so we can get our volcano report nice and clean tonight. All right, 34 erupting, 28 in warning, which means activity. Okay, they're still having activity. 62 volcanoes having activity, either erupting or disrupting my computer. All right, we will later. Maybe some of my viewers will help you. I wish I could, but I don't have access to money, and my situation is totally different than you even imagine. Okay, Etna having blasts again over at Italy. Throughout the night, Strombolian activity. Varangi has been comparably intense. Okay, Sakurajima, 9,000. Ibu, 10,000. Semaru maxing at 15. Dukono, 8. Sangay, 22. Reventador, 14. Sabancaya, 22. Those were all good heights right there. Okay, and that was just in the last few minutes. Let's go into today, which is now yesterday, because time just flies at this channel. Take a look at your map there. See all these right along this island chain right here? They relieve a lot of pressure in that region. Okay, Stromboli in Italy. For several days now, the activity at the volcano has been characterized by significant degassing. Uh-oh. I ate some bad food one time and had some significant degassing. As well as typical intermittent small Strombolian explosions. Must have been Taco Bell. Etna, mid-Strombolian activity, mild Strombolian activity. Satellite images that you can't really see too much of. Ebico, 16,000. Suwanosejima back on the map with a 6,000-foot blast. Here's Bongana, our new one down in New Guinea. It came onto the scene with a 25,000-foot blast, and here we are with another one. August 7th, explosive activity continues. Darwin warned about a volcanic ash plume that rose up to an estimated 25,000 feet. IBU, Ibu, 10,000, Semaru, 15, Songay, 23, Reventador, 15, and Sabancaya with a 22. All right, these lists do not get desensitized by these lists. See this Bongana, 25,000 feet out of Bongana, should be over on this list. Currently erupting. Okay. 25,000 feet is not minor activity. Sorry, not in my book. I consider that some eruptive activity. So Bongana needs to be over there. But meanwhile, these are the 62 volcanoes that are going off. Okay, and this is just on land. You got to remember, like 2/3 of the water or the world is underwater or the ocean floor. So you take this list and double it, and that's how many on the ocean floor, and then add this to it, you get about 184 volcanoes roughly erupting on the ocean floor and on land. Now, if I'd have told you about 7 years ago when all this stuff started happening to me that we would be enduring all this activity, you would have said, Brian, you're crazy. But here we are, and well, it's happening, and it's because I'm crazy. I'm crazy for you. Yes, indeed. All right, there we go. That one up, and we will get into our spiritual report soon. Okay. Everybody's debating what's going to happen here. What's this thing going to do? Is it going to hook? Is it going to go along the coast? Is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? It's still a little far out to know. So before we waste a lot of time on it, we will cover some. But there's another one going into Texas. Those breaks in the sandstorm are allowing for some of this activity or some of this tropical storm genesis producing I love you guys. You're so awesome. All right. Sorry, I'm interacting with the chat here. Meanwhile, nighttime, August 2nd. Now, whoops, no, I took it down. I meant to keep that one up. So let's just pull it up real quick here. We all know, but I gotta keep it doing this. August 3rd and 4th. Nighttime of August 2nd. That means the next frame is August 3rd. Add G2 possible enhancement to any storm, which right now looks not too bad. Noontime, watch this Ohio Valley area just carefully. Then here at convection, all of these little yellow spots could flare up a little more intensely than what they're showing, okay? Because of geomagnetic enhancement from our G2 storm at convection and then as well at nighttime. Now, whatever's going on here down on the coast of Florida, watch that carefully. Here in Texas, spotty up through there. This area back in Minnesota again still. Convection, nighttime tomorrow. This is what to watch for next. Then we go into the morning of the 4th. Remember, G2 enhancement on the 4th as well. So, morning of the 4th, enhancement to whatever this is going on right here. There we go. A noontime, convection, say enhancement to noontime, and enhancement to convection, and enhancement to nighttime right there. So when this thing hits the land right there, it could be a little more powerful than what they're showing here. And depending on the shape, the condition of our magnetic field on the day of impact or at such time, if our magnetic field is weak and the G2 becomes G3, well, then that will increase even more. All right. So it all depends on the way we take on this G2. If we take it on as a G2, a G1, or a G3 or 4, whatever, 1, 2 kind of enhancement, 3 kind of enhancement, 4 kind of enhancement. Do you understand how that little scale is going to work here? So there's your morning of the 4th with your 2 kind of enhancement. There's your noontime with 2 enhancement, convection, and nighttime, all with enhancement. Now, going into the 5th, we will see what happens with our geomagnetic forecast. Says nothing, calling for nothing, which is good. I hope that's the case. So we will go with what they're sticking with here now that we're in the morning of the 5th with no enhancement now. So we can go with the model. Noon, convection, nighttime. All right. Now we go morning of the 6th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 7th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 9th, noon, convection. Wow. Nighttime. Uh-oh. What did you just say? Morning of the 9th, noon, convection, nighttime. Oh, can't see that. I can't see. Let's morning of the 10th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 11th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. 13, noon, convection, nighttime. 14, noon, convection, nighttime. 15, noon, convection, nighttime. 16, noon, convection, nighttime. 17, noon, convection, nighttime. 18, noon, convection, nighttime. I need to get back to this. Okay, morning of the 9th. We could see this thing. All right, you see how long it hung out here? This is going to be pulling water off the coast and putting it on land. You're going to see severe flash flooding if that continues to, if it goes along those lines like this right here. You see the long time frame right there. That's going to put down a lot of water. You see this out in front here, morning of the 9th. This isn't the storm. The storm is still down here. This is severe weather north of the storm at morning. Noon, it hooks up with the low pressure of the storm. And at convection right there, nighttime. This could be very, very serious. If this happens here, especially with convection hitting right there, Long Island, New York, that area, and then doing that at nighttime, you're going to see devastation on a level that you're going to see a lot of some possible loss of life there. How do I say it nicely? People might die in that right there. If that happens right there, convection of the ninth, we all need to pray about that right there. That is not good. Convection of the ninth hitting right there like that is not good. I have a bad feeling about that right there. Everybody, and that's way out there. Well, not too way out there. That's the ninth. 6 days away. You see how long it just hangs there. All right. We're going to have to start all over. Starting from right here, this is convection of the third. So we are morning of the third. This is starting here, starting these next hours right here. You see this big blob blossoming right here at Florida by noon tomorrow. Give me just a tad bit more of that button, Brian. Thank you. Convection on the third creeping up through there. You see this moisture kind of being drawn up from this out in front of it. Then it hooks up with it by tomorrow night with intense stuff. Remember, we're going G2 enhancement. Noon the 4th right here on the inside coast of Florida. Everybody start taking, I'd get out of there. Start watching this closely where the storm track's really going to go. Because by convection right there on the 4th is going to be very ugly. Nighttime will be very ugly right there. Landfall nighttime, high-speed winds in the dark with tornadoes, flash flooding, large hail. Morning of the 5th, all the way through morning of the 8th. Then it starts to go inland on the 8th, travel up through, and then here we are at the 9th. Oh boy. Yeah, that right there, convection is going to be gnarly on New York City. Everybody watch your weather out there. This is a highly populated area. This is going to be a devastating event if it pans out like that. If this thing runs the coast like that, it's just going to buzzsaw the East Coast. Everybody that's along the East Coast, get prepared. Watch this thing carefully. We're dealing with weather that you cannot play around with anymore. I think you guys have gotten a hint. Oh, dear Lord, that's not good. All right, enough of that. We need to get onto this. I have so much for you tonight. I need to get onto it. All right, so bingo. There's that. There's your solar. Oop, going into a little event already right there. Not much to look at, though. All right, let's get into our spiritual report now. One of these days it'll work for me. I like how you click on a button and it lights up. It registers that you pressed it, right? It gives you a little illuminating thing and then does absolutely nothing. Okay, this is very similar to the object that we were just looking at on the solar tonight. You see the spread, you see the big round black spheroid. And here are some of the cool ones. Let's just pop that guy open right there. Butterfly man coming together there with his hand reaching out. Maybe that one does a little bit better. And he's got a bisected face, little antennas coming off of his head. I've seen this butterfly man before spread out with like butterfly wings. It's like the, I don't know, it's hard to describe. And where's the one? Is that the one where the heart slams shut? It's a broken heart and then slams shut into a face. Oh, it's that one right there. So first it starts off as a broken heart that slams shut and then turns into a face, dragon face, and then this, bam. A lot of I catch a lot of hearts in the sky, a lot of like cracked hearts, broken hearts, shredded, bleeding hearts, ones that look like they've been I don't know, I can't even say it. Ones that looks like they've just been shredded from the inside out, kind of really ugly looking ones. But what we're trying to capture here, that was not the right one. Yeah, they mauled that one. Let's go back to went to the wrong one. My bad. Thank you. This one. All right, there are a couple images right there. 3, 2. Let me get this out of here. Now, back in September 10th of 2017, my life changed. My whole life just turned it upside down, inside out, backward, forward, mainly inside out. I did not know that was even possible. I could understand your life being turned upside down because I lost all my stuff, my whole life and everything. So that part was no problem. But being torn inside out was like, what the heck is that? Well, it was because this is happening. My heart, which is on the inside of you, right? You guys all got a heart inside your chest. It's inside your chest, right? It's not like, well, come on, with your dad. It's not like overflowing and pouring out. You're not like inside out like I am. Now my heart is on my sleeve and I have to speak my mind and say what's inside. Very hard to do. Very hard for, well, other people to accept. But for those who do, they're truly blessed because there is something special about this. It's the real thing. Not a joke. We are in those times. All the signs are there. Everybody's like, oh, we're rapture any minute. Where is it? It should be happening now. Well, it is happening now. The rapture is happening right now. You just didn't. It's happening in a way Hollywood didn't portray. Okay. I wanted this instead. Where is? Oh, that's how. Where were we? 2020. Oops, it's down. There we go. And there's our little flip book in much better shape right there. But actually comes out better when it's compressed like that. All right, so we got, yeah, Holly Weird. Well, there's something else. See, they know about me as well, and well, they worship me in a different way. Okay, all right, I guess I'll stick with that one right there. I was kind of looking. That one's good right there. You can see it turning from Jesus with the long hair into the lion face. Very important series of photos. It's all these photos up above stacked into a flip book. Okay, you can see that there. All because of, well, what happened to me and who I am. And all this stuff is now following me around, watching, following, and studying me everywhere I go. Quite weird. It's like being in the Truman Show or something. I didn't even know about that movie. Somebody was like, you need to see that. I'm like, oh, what's this stupid movie? And then I understood. I'm like, oh, wow, pretty interesting. They must know what's happening to me as well because they're portraying it. So there's this, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, you want me to do that one? Okay. The face by the moon, the video. Okay, let's go. Oops. No. We don't need the chat. There we go. All right. There we go. My face again out by the moon. All because of what's happening to me. All because of who I am. It's just been a long, weird, rough road, and been really hard when no one understands or even believes you. So that's the weirdest part. It's like, what? The real thing and nobody believes you? Oh man. How oh well, we don't need to go to that. We're gonna just stick with that. We got our 3 images. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's get to reading because I got lots of stuff for you. So let's what's the first one we're gonna do? Oh yes. Okay. So we're gonna actually go to this one right here. Okay. You see this little one right here? I'm gonna pull that up kind of big screen. You can see it pretty well. Like that, right? It's not too big in your face. All right. You don't have to keep looking at it, but I'm just going to put that up there for a second. Take a few deep breaths, everybody, getting comfy. Because when you're looking at that, you're supposed to understand that you're in my presence now, okay? And it's important, after all that we've looked at, how disturbing this world can be, that it doesn't shake you. It doesn't rattle you. You're in my presence, so be still in my presence and wait patiently for me to act. Stillness is a rare commodity in this world. Many people judge themselves on their day by how much they have accomplished. Now, resting in my presence is usually not one of those accomplishments. But it should be the biggest accomplishment of your day, is resting in my presence. Because resting in my presence is usually not one of those accomplishments. Yet, how much blessing can be found in this holy rest? We're together and you're getting some peace. How much blessing can be found in it? A lot. It's way more than what you accomplish during your day. So it's important that you rest in my presence and consider it an accomplishment. Okay? There's a lot of blessing to be found in it. Now, peace and joy abound in my presence, but it takes time for them to soak into your inner being. It also takes trust. So instead of fussing and fuming when your plans are thwarted, try waiting patiently for me to act. Sorry, I got coyotes out the window screaming through the window, and I'm trying to read to you guys. Possibly heard them out there. So, peace and joy in my presence. All right? Quit looking at the world and all the stuff that's going on. Take time to find some peace and joy in my presence. It takes time to soak into your inner being. It also takes trust. But instead of fussing and fuming when your plans don't go the way you want, wait patiently for me to act, and then you can watch and hope for me, because I am God, your Savior. So be assured that I will hear you. I may not answer you as soon as you would like, but I always respond to your prayers in the best way. In the best way, not in the way you expected, because your expectations aren't the best. Mine are. Yours fall short. I got better expectations for you than you do for yourself. So you can watch in hope. That's what we're doing right now. You see these images, you see this heart. You are watching in hope, right? You're watching in hope for me because I am. I am God, your Savior. You need to be assured that I will hear you. I may not answer you like. Okay? It's always, the answer is always in a way that you don't expect. Because you're always thinking on human ways. I reward you spiritually. Okay? So the answer may not be as you would like, but I always respond to your prayers in the best way. So don't worry about evil people or fret about their wicked schemes. I laugh at the wicked, for I know their day is coming. So do you, don't you? I laugh at the wicked. I know their day is coming. You know their day is coming too. You don't necessarily have to laugh at the wicked. You should pray for them because their day is indeed coming. So instead of laughing, maybe you can take relief that and not fret about their wicked schemes. I know their day is coming. You know their day is coming. You can rest in me and be still and know that I am God. Right? I explained last night in great detail. Speaking of which, a couple of you hooked up with the code. You guys heard it. A couple of you did. A couple others that were reminded that had found the code before kind of put it aside, heard it again too. Yeah, I will hear you. Be assured that I will hear you. Yeah, you heard the code. That's good, good. Now you know. Now you know I am who I say I am. And know that their day is coming. Be still now and know. Now, we're going through our day. We're having issues, right? And we ask for help. But sometimes it's hard to, you need help asking for help, right? Sometimes you need help even to ask for my help. So as you try to do several things at once, you find yourself moving faster and faster, interrupting one thing to do another. If your phone rings at such a time or you get a text, your stress level rises higher. And the best way out of this turmoil is to stop everything. Take a few deep breaths, whisper my name, and acknowledge your need for my guidance through the moments of your day, through those moments. Just acknowledge you need help. Take a deep breath. Jesus, please help me through this moment, and I will lovingly lead you along the paths of righteousness for my name's sake. Now, when you are preparing to do something challenging, you usually take time to enlist my help. You guys are doing great when it's something challenging. But when you're facing everyday tasks, you tend to dive in unassisted, as if you can handle these matters alone. Because I do it all the time, too. Oh, God, I got caught doing it again today. I thought I was getting a handle on this. I was facing just a menial everyday task. I forgot to ask. I dove in unassisted as if I could handle the matter alone. Yep, I did that today, and that's why I'm telling you this right now, because it's hot off the street, baby. So, when you're facing everyday tasks, even your little small tasks, sometimes we tend to dive in unassisted. I'm guilty too. We just kind of go along our way as if we can handle all these matters by ourselves. But ask yourself, how much better is it to approach everything in a humble dependence on me? So, whenever you find yourself in the diving in mode, ask me to help you stop diving in right away and seek me first, letting me show you the way to go forward. I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. Um, we're doing salvage work. We salvage our days. We're bringing the gift of salvation to other people, right? And I want you to draw water from the wells of salvation with joy, okay? Try to do your salvage work with joy. These wells are unfathomably deep, and they are filled to the brim with my blessings. The worth of your salvation is, it's like priceless. There's no measure. It's far greater than any of earth's fortunes. Any of earth's fortunes in the past, present, or future. Your salvation, your salvage work is far greater than any fortune on the earth. Because when your life in this world ends, you will live with me forever in a perfect environment filled with dazzling glory. Okay? You will be in a perfect environment. You will be doing salvation work. Your world won't come to an end. You will live with me forever, continuing to do salvage work, and you will, each time you salvage your day is a glory. You will be filled with dazzling glory. And when you worship me with untold numbers of my followers, all of whom will relate to one another with wondrous love, and they'll respond to me with even greater love. So you will, when I say worship me, that means you will enjoy my presence, right? With untold numbers of followers, because we never really get a really good count here, so it's an untold number. All of whom relate to one another. All of whom what? Relate to one another. Oh my gosh, you guys are family. You can relate to one another, can't you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you're in my presence with untold numbers of followers, that's people that follow, like Facebook, follow me on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, right? Follower. All of whom, that's you guys, all of whom will relate to one another with wondrous love. Oh, look at you guys just loving each other in here. I love that as well. Okay. You will be able to receive love from me in unimaginably great measure. You respond to me with even greater love, and you will be able to receive love from me. When you respond to me with greater love, you will be able to receive love from me in unimaginable great measure. This heart right there, this is unimaginable. Isn't it? Happened on Easter. That's unimaginable. That's pretty great. That's a great measure, too. That's an unimaginable great measure that you're looking at right here, huh? Ask yourself, what's going the wrong direction here? Unimaginable great measure. You're getting glimpses of heaven already. You know your destination. Shoot, you're building a relationship with me. Huh. Isn't that something? All right, let's move on. I got more. Um, yep, you guys are able to receive love from me. Look at this. You guys are receiving that love from me coming right out of that heart right there. See that rays coming out? That's the love that you're receiving from me. You can physically see it. See it? I can make love physically visible. Impossible, right? But I do. I show you love physically possible. It's pretty cool. Um, when you, I want you to draw water from the well of salvation. You're doing your salvage work with joy. And when you see those accomplishments, you see that you're overcoming your obstacles now. The assurance of forevermore pleasures awaiting you in heaven can help you endure your struggles in this world. Bingo. I work so hard to get the assurances of the forevermore pleasures that are awaiting you in heaven so they can help you endure your struggles right now while you're in this world. Ta-da! It worked. I worked really hard and it worked. You got reassurances of heaven, of forevermore pleasures awaiting you in heaven. And when you understand your place, you're a runner in the race, you got a number. You're not a spectator in the crowd, you're an actual runner in the race. You're going to finish a race and have victory. That assurance now can help you endure your struggles during the present. Okay? That's why I do this. That's why I'm trying to get you guys the assurance that you need to endure your struggles. The assurance to endure your struggles. I say again, the assurance to help you endure your struggles. Because I understand the difficulties you're facing. I'm going through it right now with you too, in excruciating pain, shattered hips, shattered shoulder, body full of metal plates and screws. I'm going through it with you. And I use this the same way I need you to use it. These images help me endure. They really do. They help me. I want them to have the same effect for you. I want these to help you endure your difficulties. Thank you. I saw that in the chat. Sorry, I'm trying to focus really quick here. The assurances that you see up there help you endure your struggles right now because I understand the difficulties you're facing. I'm going through it with you, all right? But remember, I am your strength and song. I am your strength. You're getting the strength from these images. Those of you who heard the code in the music have found that I am your song as well. So when I say I am your strength and song, that means not just this, the music too. Let me tell you something. When you are driving down the road listening to some rock and roll and you hear the code playing over the stereo in your car and you look up in the clouds and you see this stuff going on in the clouds while hearing the code playing and the music at the same time, you will realize where you truly are. Give it a try. It will blow you away. Meanwhile, the assurance of the forever pleasures waiting for you in heaven help you endure your struggles. Why? because I understand the difficulties you're facing. I want you to know I am your strength and your song. I am strong enough to carry you when you feel as if you can go no further. I even enable you to sing with me on good days and on hard days. I, your song, can fill you with joy. Go find the code in the music and find the music's all new again. All the old tunes that you got so dead bored and tired with, when you hear the song, my song, in the music, the code in the music, you will find that I am your strength and I am your song. And I, your song, can fill you with joy. We go on that too? Okay, so we're making leaps and bounds here. I want you to understand your competence comes from me. Okay, a lot of people got problems with their competence. Your competence comes from me. It's not yours. It comes from me. And this means there is no pride in your achievements. They aren't yours. It also means you are capable of much more than you think possible. Okay? The combination of your natural ability and my supernatural empowerment, that combination, your natural skills and my supernatural empowerment, that combination is very effective. Go find out how effective it is. You will find it is effective every time. Your natural ability and my supernatural empowerment. Put those two together. You're unstoppable. I have called you to live in joyful dependence on me. It's joyful dependence. It shouldn't be like, oh God, I need another thing from you. No, you should be happy. Hey, can we do this now? Yeah, sure, no problem. I have called you to live in a joyful dependence on me. So don't hesitate to ask me for help. It should be joyful to ask me for help, not arduous, okay? I want you to make every effort to discern my will for you also. That means searching the scriptures and seeking my face. So you're not just sitting there. No, you got to make every effort to discern my will for you. And you will find out what my will for you is. It's loud and clear when you search the scriptures. It will be plain as day when you search the scriptures and seek my face. Also, seek wise counsel from other Christians. I will show you the way to go forward according to my wisdom and will. Ask my Spirit to guide you along the paths I have chosen for you. Your holy helper inside the Holy Spirit, the Holy Helper will equip and empower you to achieve my purposes in your life. Do you got it? Do you understand my purposes in your life? It's not your purposes in my life. It's what I'm doing in your life. Can you see it now? Do you see how I'm transforming you? You're losing fear. You're growing in strength and confidence. You have assurance that helps you endure struggles in this world now. What? And it didn't come from the mainstream media, that's for sure. That Holy Spirit, man, He will equip you and empower you to achieve my purposes in your life. So thank me for everything, which are the abilities I have given you, the opportunities I've put before you, and my Spirit's enabling you to accomplish important things. Now you have my Spirit enabling you to accomplish things. You are accomplishing important things in my kingdom. I'm here. You are in my kingdom, aren't you? Yeah, you are. You're in my kingdom. Right there. There we go. Sorry. Well, leave it right there, Brian. Thank you, Lord. You understand? You guys are in my kingdom. And if you're in my kingdom and you're accomplishing important things using the Holy Spirit to enable you, your mistakes, your everything has become opportunities. You have they're no longer mistakes or regrets, they are opportunities. Those are the opportunities before you. Once you've seen all of that, then thank me for everything, the abilities I've given you, the opportunities. They're no longer mistakes or regrets. They are now opportunities that are before you. And then thank me for the Spirit enabling you to accomplish important things in my kingdom. Stay in communication with me, enjoying my company as you journey along the path of life. Okay? Enjoy my company. I hope you do. I'm not that bad of a guy. I'm not that scary. I don't bite. Well, I do bite some people, but not you. Enjoy my company as we journey along the path of life together, because in my presence is fullness of joy. Yeah, in my presence is fullness of joy. You're not going to find that fullness of joy in the headlines on Fox, I'll tell you that much. You ain't going to find fullness of joy in the Secret Service scandal. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. But you can find fullness of joy in my presence. Pretty cool hanging out with me, huh? You are caught up so bad in the clouds with me right now. You guys are just staring at me in the clouds. You're caught up. You like a good book. I'm reading some good words, some good book to you. I'm showing you some good images. We're putting some good things in your head. Because in my presence is fullness of joy. I want you to enjoy my company. I dread it. Oh boy, here comes the good meat. Are you guys ready for this? Oh good, we got some stragglers. You guys are tough hanging out this long. All right. You're going to love this because you overwhelmingly conquer. You are an overwhelmingly conqueror through me. All right, so check this out. We're not talking about me. You are overwhelmingly conqueror through me, the King of Glory, who loves you. The King of Glory loves you, you know, that heart right there. The King of Glory that loves you. You are overwhelmingly a conqueror through me. I love you. So no matter what is happening in this fractured, fallen world in your own life, okay, so no matter what is happening in this world or in your life, you are victorious. Everybody stop right there. Take a deep breath in. Hold it for a second, and when you exhale, I want you to say, I am victorious. Again. I am victorious. Because no matter what is happening, you are victorious. I won the victory once and for all time through my sacrificial and miraculous resurrection. Okay, I'm back. My sacrificial death, my miraculous resurrection, and my return. I told you I would be back. I'm back. It's so weird to see the whole world going, God, it's got to be around here right now, right here. Sometime it's got to be the rapture right here, right now, sometime. Well, it's right here, right now, at this time. How could it be that hard to grasp? I guess it is. All right. But for those who are trusting me, you're a conqueror. You're overwhelmingly conquering. Yeah, you are. And no matter what's happening in your fractured life, you are victorious. I am victorious. Say it, breathe it, think it, live it. I want you to remember I won the victory once and for all time. Okay? My unfailing love has accomplished this wondrous conquest and made you, who? Made you much more than a conqueror. Oh, you're more than a conqueror? Much more, overwhelmingly much more than a conqueror. You are an heir of the kingdom of eternal life and light. Congratulations. You are an heir of the kingdom of eternal life and light, and nothing will be able to separate you from my love. Okay? I don't just all of a sudden stop unloving you. Nothing will be able to separate you from my love. That should be reassuring. That should make you feel good, even when you look around the world. I want you to ponder what it means to have me as the lover of your soul every moment of your life, forever and ever. Your soul is the eternal part of you, the part that can never be separated from me. It is not what you see in the mirror or what other people reflect back to you. It is the essence of who you are, the real you. The one I know. I know every little thing about you. Everybody else only knows little fractions, little splinters of you, and you think that they know you. You think that they know the real you. The only person that knows the real you is you and me. I know about what you did when you were a kid. I know the first time when you stole something. I know when you did this and you did that, and I know all the regrets, everything. I know the real you. I know the essence of who you are. And it is the essence of who you are, the real you, that is being transformed from glory to glory. From glory to glory, from salvage to salvage. Everything, every salvage that you do successfully is a glory. You conquered it, didn't you? You may have had to do 2 or 3 salvages in a day, but you overwhelmingly conquered that day, didn't you? You did not go down. You kept swinging, and you saved your day. You salvaged it. The essence of who you are, the real you, is being transformed from glory to glory, from success to success, from salvage to salvage, from conqueror to conquer, you're overwhelmingly conquering now. Do you see that? Do you see that what you guys are doing? You are overwhelmingly conquering, and you're doing it through me. I'm so happy for those who are. The rest who aren't yet, it's okay. Give it time. Keep working. because you will find that the essence of who you really are, the real you, it's not the fake you that's being transformed, is it? Nope, you still put that little guise up every time you talk to somebody. You can still manage to do that. But the real you down inside, just being kind of scared but reassured, and okay, I do feel reassured even though the scary stuff is going on. I do get a sense of peace, and I am able to salvage my day. Well, it's those things. Those are the things that are being transformed. And when you have success, you've salvaged a day, that's a glory. You made it to this show, you found peace, that's another glory. And the real you is being transformed from glory to glory, from success to success. You're starting to grow some confidence inside, right? You're being transformed. Therefore, do not be discouraged by the defects you see in yourself, okay? Because now you're going to be like, oh, picking yourself apart, uh, judging, yourself. And I don't need that. You don't need that. Do not be discouraged by the defects you see in yourself. Instead, remember that you are continually being transformed into my image. And then rejoice. When you realize that you're being transformed into my image, you have this like weird side effect of rejoicing for some reason. You're like, yes, oh, phew, we are saved. Oh, I am saved. Woo. You rejoice. You're being transformed. You are overwhelmingly conquering things in this world through me. You're not being depressed and self-pity and falling into that slippery pit. You're looking to me. You're finding that as you look to me more and more, I become your joyful focus. And when you look at the world today, many disturbing things call out for your attention. Everything right now is calling out for your attention. There are like 1,000 little tentacles, millions, trillions of tentacles out there clamoring for your attention, and I am just one of those trillions. So, for those of you who look to me more and more, I become your joyful focus. And when you look at the world today, many of the disturbing things that call out for your attention, if you concentrate too much on those things, you will become deeply discouraged. I'm telling you, don't concentrate too much on those things. You can unplug, plug in when you want to, but don't forget you can unplug from that. Meanwhile, the one who is continually with you calls out, I am here. I am here right now. You are raptured. You're caught up with me in the clouds. I am here. Look to me and find joy. My presence can bless you always, even when it's only in the background of your mind. Did you know that? So, all of this stuff that's still trying to distract you, as long as my presence can still bless you when I'm in the background of your mind, because my presence can bless you always, even when it's only in the background of your mind. You can learn to stay conscious of me while you're engaged in other matters. This magnificent brain I gave you can function on several tracks at once. But that does not mean, oh, I can drive and text and send and do all these wonderful things at once. God gave me this magnificent brain for several tracks at once. It's not for driving and texting. By the way, I got a new Send It. You know, the kids these days, oh, dude, send it. Like, jump off the cliff, right? Send it. Well, now it's, well, the light turned green, and I've only got 4 more characters to go, and then I will hit send, and then I'll proceed through the green light. And back in my day, as soon as that light turned green, it was like the drag race. Who was quickest off the line? Now, when you send it, it means wait, 4 more characters. Now send. So I sit at green lights just going, send it, baby, send it. This magnificent brain I gave you that functions on several tracks at once was meant for enjoying my presence, not texting and driving at the same time. While you chew gum. Look like a chew gum, text and drive. Yeah, and you still can't focus on me. It's the magnificent brain I gave you that functions on several tracks sometimes gets wasted. But when you're doing something that involves a lot of brain power, your awareness of my presence will be subtle. Okay? It's in the background. It helps you like plan a little bit better. Your brain power works a lot better when your awareness of my presence is there. It's subtle, it's in the background, but nonetheless, it can be comforting and encouraging. So, making me your focus is not escapism, okay? Because some people do that sometimes. Focus on me is not escapism. Making me your joyous focus is not escapism. On the contrary, your attentiveness to me strengthens you. Okay? It's not for escapism. Your attentiveness to me strengthens you and gives you courage to cope with the difficulties in your life. It gives you strength and courage to cope with your difficulties. And the more persistently you look to me, the more effective and joyful you will be. You want to be joyful and effective? Well, the more persistently you look to me, the more effective and joyful you will be. Wow, we're going there too. Wow, Lord. Okay, I gotta take a sip here. I think that'll work. Wow. Okay, so I got even more for you. You guys are still hanging there? Dang it. Can't get rid of you, huh? Well, maybe I'll just show you that one. No, I'm not gonna get rid of you. Let's stick with the heart right there. That's probably the best one for the moment. Wow. So you guys are right there. The more persistently you look to me, the more effective and joyful you will be. I draw near you in the present moment. Seek to enjoy my presence in the present. Trust and thankfulness are your best allies in this quest. When you allow, or when you also wallow in the past or worry about the future, your awareness of me grows dim. But the more you trust me, the more fully you can live in the present, where my presence does indeed await you. You can speak frequently to me saying, I trust you, Jesus, or I love you, Lord, or, oh Lord, you're my strength. These short prayers keep you close to me and confident that I'm lovingly watching over you. Because I am indeed lovingly watching over you. It's important for you to grow not only more trusting, but more thankful. A grateful attitude is essential for living near me. Ingratitude is offensive to me. Not many things offend me, but I'll tell you what, ingratitude does offend me. And it drags you down both spiritually and emotionally too, doesn't it? So, a grateful attitude is essential. Ingratitude offends me and it drags you down both spiritually and emotionally. So remember that you are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken. So no matter what is happening in your life or in your world, this means that you have a constant, unshakable reason to be thankful. Unshakable reason to be thankful. When you are thankful and you have an unshakable reason for that, well, then you are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken. This means you have constant, unshakable reason to be thankful. So stay anchored to me and enjoy my presence by giving thanks in all circumstances, in all situations. And that's how you grow, not only more trusting, but more thankful. A grateful attitude is essential. We got to work on the ingratitude because I get caught in that too. And then close with this. Okay, we're closing with this then. This has been a long session. I didn't even know that. Or are we like a couple hours? Wow. Okay, so we're closing with this. Remember, I draw near you in the present moment. Seek to enjoy my presence in the present. I am the gate, and whoever enters through me will be saved. I am the only entrance to the path of life, to eternal life. And if you do not enter through me, you will never find salvation from your sins. Some people compare their spiritual journey to climbing a mountain. Okay, there are many paths that lead to the summit, and all the successful climbers will end up at the same place. People often use this analogy to claim that all paths to God are equally effective, but nothing could be further from the truth. You can enter salvation only through me, the one true gate. And once you have come through this gate, you can enjoy walking along the path of life. Okay, you don't have to hate or regret walking the path of life. You can enjoy walking the path of life. Once you've entered through the gate, you can enjoy walking the path of life, not regret it, not fear it, not be anxiety through the path of life. And everybody's so anxious right now because of what's going on. And I want you to enjoy walking the path of life. Now, I don't guarantee it'll be an easy journey, but I do promise to be with you every moment. So, no matter what difficulties you encounter along the way, there is joy to be found in my presence. And each step you take brings you closer to your goal, your heavenly home. Yep, your heavenly home. Yeah, when you have come through the gate, you know you have come through the gate because you are enjoying walking the path of life. You're not regretting it. You're not, there's joy in your walk. When there's joy in your walk, now you know you have come through the gate. You will have joy in your walk, but it doesn't guarantee an easy journey. Now we're working on having joy during a kind of a difficult journey, all right? But I do promise to be with you every moment. Okay? And that's where there is joy. to be found in my presence. Guys are awesome. You're making huge, huge leaps and bounds. Other people are making huge, huge baby steps. Baby steps are not baby steps, they are leaps and bounds as well. Everybody has their own pace at which they go. So if you're not getting results right away, you need to keep practicing. You need to lean in more. You need to trust more. For those of you who are going from glory to glory, well done. You're walking the path of life. You're enjoying your walk. You're seeing that it's just this challenge from going from glory to glory to glory, doing salvage work during your day, trying to salvage your day, bringing joy into other people's lives is another glory. It's another conquest. You guys are conquerors. You're just going out there and tearing it up. And that's what I like to see. Now go get them. You got the power. You've got it. You've got it. You've got it. Go get them, Tiger. There's no excuses now. You have every reason to go live while the living is good. And when the living gets difficult, it will still be good. Because you're going to be going from glory to glory. You'll just be transforming from one conquest into the next. And then somebody's going to be like, how are you doing this? I don't know. I just go out there and conquer everything I encounter. Because this is my foundation. This is my rock. Nothing holds me back anymore. That's too big in your face. All right, that's better right there. Okay, nothing is impossible. Okay, you guys keep working at it. You're doing really good. I am so happy for those who have found it. Remember to enjoy my presence and my song. All right. For those of you who like the music, you can see like throwing fingers up, heavy metal fingers with the horns right up there, rocking out, because there's the code in the music as well. All right. And that code, don't let the code scare you or lead you into thinking, that's something we got to touch base about it right now, too. I watched a very vulgar display on TV today. Won't mention the show, but they made fun of this man. A childhood incident came up, and another kid made up a story and basically ruined this guy's life. Made up a story that, oh, you did this, and spread a rumor way back when they were kids. And even into adult life, this guy was always labeled with this wrong label because somebody had lied about him, made up a story. So as they grew up, this man was labeled wrongly his entire life. And at a reunion, everybody's like, oh, it's this dude. And they all labeled him wrong. They thought he was the guy who, was licking trash cans or whatever. He's like, no, I'm not that type of person. Oh, no, yes, you are. We all know it. So-and-so told us. So his whole life was destroyed because of a lie, a rumor. And when this issue was addressed, they did not correct it during the show. They pointed out what was happening, made sure you were aware of it, made fun of it, and then turned it into entertainment. Yeah. Yeah, our TV shows are warped, twisted, demented, and yet they do this stuff for entertainment value. And you're not supposed to be getting entertainment out of that. We're supposed to be learning lessons. So, that was one that was, we got to watch out. There's just so many deceptions going on out there. And you got to You got to weave your way through them. It's a spiritual journey. Once you've come through this gate, you will know, because you're enjoying your walk now on the path of life. You know it's not easy, but you do it, you persist, and you find achievement. You conquer overwhelmingly. You realize you're being transformed. You're the real you, not the fake guys that you put on to your friends and family. The person that's down inside your heart is being transformed with each success. You you overcame the negative impulse that day and you salvaged your day. That was a glory. That's a conquer. That's a victory. I call that a glory. And you are being transformed from one glory to the next, to the next, to the next. You just keep chalking them up, baby. Okay, just keep chalking up as many glories as you can, because it transforms the real you. And I want you to be transformed and live with peace, fullness of joy, confidence, comfort, and then take that into other people's lives. Whew. That was a long one. All right, you guys, I love you. I miss you. You guys are awesome. You're doing so well. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for believing in me. It's really hard when nobody else does, and you've put in all this hard work. Okay? And you're going to be rewarded for believing me. Okay? You already are rewarded for believing me. Your salvage work is working out fine. You're having victories. You're out there conquering. You're finding peace in your circumstances, even when we're at the stage of war where we're at right now. Everybody's anticipating, okay, there's going to be this strike back. It could be any moment. Oh, it could be the 9th of Av. Oh, it's going to be this day. Oh, it's going to be that hour. Everybody is on pins and needles about retaliation. What did I say about retaliation? Leave that up to the Lord. Quit stressing about the retaliation. It does not change this. Retaliation does not change this. Retaliation does not change this, that. And if you read closely, let me just say this. I will break the bow of Elam. Okay? Go read. I will break the bow of Elam. That's what you're seeing. So don't stress. Don't future trip. Enjoy your life. Find peace. Be still. Know that I am. And I will be back. Heck, I'm already back. And the world is showing signs of it. I love you. Bye. I will be back.